Let's talk about the most slept on NFT project out there. Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm your beautiful host, Young Buffett, and in today's video, we're going to talk about why I spent over $20,000 on a picture of a baby gorilla. But before I do, I have to say this because you guys don't do it if I don't say it. But just take a second, scroll down, hit that like button because it means that we're friends. It means that you like what I'm doing here, and it just makes me feel better about myself. And then to further solidify our friendship here, I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button as well because it inflates my already hyperinflated non-transitory ego. It makes this number go up, and it just makes me excited. You know, it makes me feel good about myself. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about CyberKongz. There are 1,000 Genesis Kongz, there are 4,000 Baby Kongz, and there are 15,000 voxel Kongz. Why is this thing 84 Ethereum? That's like $250,000. Why are these babies 7 Ethereum? That's $21,000. And then why are these 3D models 2 Ethereum? That's like $6,000. But we'll talk about each. We'll talk about my plans. We'll talk about where I think these things will go. The first one that I want to talk about and get out of the way are the Genesis collection, the one that there's 1,000 of. If you've been living under a rock and you've never heard of these are actually one of the most revolutionary pieces of NFT history. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. The CyberKongz community literally spearheaded a lot of the concepts that you guys see popping up left and right on new NFT projects like yielding and just a lot of different utility-based aspects of projects literally come from what the CyberKongz community have been working on. Each Genesis Kong yields 10 bananas every day for the next 10 years. And at the time of this recording, one banana is worth what, like 14, 15 bucks or something. It fluctuates wildly based on the implied volatility of its utility. So there's only 1,000 of them. So any sort of demand just sends this price skyrocketing. I've seen this thing go from 50 to 100 and sometimes even more. I've seen this thing over 100. So it varies based off of who wants it and how many of them do they want, because it is a very expensive blue chip NFT community project, art, utility, etc. Next, there are 4,000 Baby Kongz that get you access to the highly sought after alpha Discord channel inside of the CyberKongz Discord. It's called the Wall Street Kongz channels, and they have some of the brightest minds in the space discussing shitcoins, DeFi projects, NFT projects, the overall market. It's just a bunch of smart people in there talking about smart things and smart money. So it's definitely the place. It's definitely the alpha channel to be in if you're interested in something like that. The Baby Kongz and the Genesis Kongz give you access to that. And it's just an extreme value add for the NFT. And up until pretty much this week, that was really the only bit of utility that the Baby Kongz got. But before we talk too much more about the utility of the babies, let's quickly cover the VXs as well, because there's 15,000 of those. CyberKong VX is actually one of my favorite NFTs. I've had 3 of them. I sold 1. I'm still holding 2. But the VX collection consists of 15,000 voxel models, or these 3D models that are fully playable in the Metaverse, like Sandbox, for example. And they give you access to the CyberKongz plot of land on the Sandbox, and they're calling it the Kong Island. And we don't really know too much about that, and I expect further information on that to be further catalyst on the price of the VXs. And I've seen the VXs fluctuate anywhere from just under 1 ETH to about 3, 4, 5 ETH. There are some VXs that sell for a lot more depending on their rarity and how cool they look. I think it's less of a rarity thing and more of I really like this and I identify with this one, so I want to buy it type of mentality. Because they are playable avatars, we're going to start seeing more and more of that style of purchasing and selling and stuff like that. So anyways, I picked up one with a Kong Island police cap, for example. And it's not because I have any affiliation with the police, but I think that maybe I'll be able to play as a cop on the Kong Island. Maybe there's missions. Maybe there's a P2E, clean up the city from crime and earn bananas. That might be a utility. That could be really cool. Who knows? The possibilities are endless, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about how that's all going to play out. I have another one right here that has a yield farming hat, and who knows? Maybe I could have a little farm in the metaverse and grow bananas and yield bananas. I don't know. But that's all super long term. That's going to be in the future when more and more playability and utility comes out of the sandbox. I know they're currently in alpha. But the really cool thing that the CyberKongz community is doing is providing their own utility. And they announced the game that gives utility to that Baby Kong and the VX Kong. So it's a game that they're calling Play and Collect. The main objective of this game is to send your CyberKong VXs in crews of anywhere from 1 to 5 VXs into an adventure to go gather Kongium ore and redeem them for prizes like the seasonal banana prize pool and other exclusive NFTs for the people who are participating. But the cool part is Lucky Charms. This all sounds so crazy. Lucky Charms are rewarded to Baby CyberKong holders who wish to be a part of the CyberKongz universe for a long term and gives babies recognition that they deserve. And that's what it says on their Medium article. But in addition to boosting loot on adventure runs, the Lucky Charms will have other key roles in future CyberKongz development. They increase the loot of Kongium and experience in the jungle adventures. So if you have 5 VXs and then you have your Baby Kong will essentially boost your 5 VXs and boost your whole experience and get you more loot and Kongium and experience and so on. They can also trigger exclusive events during the jungle adventures. They are transferable and therefore can be traded with other Kong friends. They give you the opportunity to get exclusive and limited NFTs, etc. So here's my logic, okay? Because when this game comes out, and it's going to come out very, very soon, if not today, maybe this week, but people are going to want to buy more VXs. Now check this out. There are about 100 people on the contract. You can click on the contract and look at the holders and see who's holding how many. There are about 100 people who own more than 20. Okay, and the difference goes crazy. There's people who own hundreds, and then there's people who own 50, 40, 30. But rule of thumb, good thing to see, good thing to know, 100 people on the contract own more than 20. Okay, then there's about 117 people who have more than 10. Okay, there are only 172 people who have exactly 5. In total, there are 4,500 VX holders, and only 172 people have exactly 5. If you add it all up, 389 people, give or take, this will change, have enough VXs to truly maximize their play to collect game squad. Okay, because remember, you could have anywhere from 1 to 5 VXs in your little squad. You could play with 4 or 3 or 2, but the people who have 5 will really, really benefit a lot more than the people who have 1. Okay, it's still playable, but still, it's a pay to win essentially. People who only have 4 might end up wanting 1 more just to complete their set. Okay, there's a lot of people who only have 4. People who only have 3 will either want 1 or 2 more to complete their set, or just give them a little bit more of an advantage. People who only have 2 will want 1, 2, or 3 more. People who only have 1, they might not even choose to play. But if they're in the market, if they have enough liquidity, they might want 1, 2, 3, or 4 more VXs to complete their set. Now, this mechanic of owning 5 to really get the absolute most out of the game, it drives demand through the roof, especially because the way the mechanic works, it locks those NFTs. You can't sell those NFTs when they're out in the jungle collecting and playing, right? So with only 527 available on OpenSea right now, there's probably going to be a massive supply shock. And it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, the same goes with the Baby Kongz. There are 4,000 Baby Kongz. Actually, there's a little bit less than 4,000. Not all of them have been incubated yet, but there's only 111 for sale. So for the people who have 5 VXs and want to boost their experience and collect those shards, they'll want a baby, right? And for the people who have 1, 2, 3, or 4 VXs, they might also want a baby instead of getting more VXs. So it's a little bit of a give and take. Instead of buying 4 VXs to complete your set, you might just buy a baby. But anybody who's looking to boost their experience, trigger different events, get more loot, get access to limited NFTs, the demand for the babies go up. And not to mention, for those who are playing the game, it locks the supply. Same thing goes for the babies as with the VXs like we talked about. Low supply, lock supply, high demand, play to earn. These are all of the key words you want to hear when you're buying an NFT. So that's why I bought this Baby Kong for 7.88 ETH last night. I have my 1 to 100 ETH challenge going on right now. I'm trying to grow 1 Ethereum to 100 Ethereum, flipping NFTs and stuff. So I'm buying these value NFTs with the intention to flip, but I am extremely bullish and super excited to be a part of the CyberKong ecosystem. And I always will be involved with them in some way or another. But for the short to midterm, I'm looking for literally anything 10 to 15 ETH on these babies. Could be more, could be less. None of this is financial advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of security or investment or crypto or NFT, because these are all extremely risky, extremely speculative investments. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you are having a lot of fun as well. Don't forget to hit those friendship buttons down below. And with that, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.